this great little thing called the Apollo Project that we've been talking about here, and it's just, boy, it's like a candy store that just never stops giving, just candy everywhere. I just want to go through this with you. Help me out. The Apollo Project was started by the Tides Foundation. If you remember Van Jones, he's our green job czar, right?
That's right.
He is the avowed communist. He was into social justice, which helped me out. Social justice basically is just code word for
taking money from someone and giving it to somebody else.
That's all it is. What was it you said about the lottery? They lost
the birth lottery.
Lost the birth lottery. That's social justice for you. You'll hear about social justice and our soon-to-be confirmed Supreme Court justice talk a lot about social justice. Yeah. But then he went to prison, became a communist, and then he decided, hey, if we could just get the green movement and the unions and the social justice people together, we could control the world, right?
He said it was the grand unified theory of progressive politics. And
Got it.
That's what they're doing with Apollo.
So he goes in and he helps start Apollo. Now, Apollo, so you know, America, Apollo are the people that wrote the stimulus package. Tell me if I'm wrong here. Also helped write cap and trade.
Exactly right on both counts. I do want to add one thing, Glenn. I noticed that the Apollo people were very angry last week that we didn't mention that they also have business support.
Yeah.
So there are some businesses. Google, which gives 95% Democratic, also a big supporter of the Apollo Alliance. Pacific Gas and Electric, California Utility. So they have some big business money as well, not surprisingly.
Let me tell you something, America. They actually wrote, the Apollo didn't disagree with anything we said last week. They actually wrote to complain that we didn't include their business cronies. Like that makes it better that they've got giant global business involved too. Here's a theory that I have, and I want to see if you guys agree with this. Brian Deese, he comes up with the cash for clunkers, right? He's the guy who comes up with cash for clunkers. He sells it. Cash for clunkers. Okay? What is cash for clunkers? Cash for clunkers is destruction of property. That's all it is. It's destruction of assets. Yeah. It is also redistributing wealth. It's taking money from me, giving it to the government, then taking it to somebody who can't afford a new car, giving it to them. So you have social justice. You also have a second bailout for all of the auto industries, helping our union buddies by getting all that money in there. It's also the green movement. Gee, and how is Brian Deese connected to the Apollo Alliance? He's connected to the Apollo Alliance because he's also with Podesta. So this is so unbelievably transparent.
Yeah, I mean, the amazing thing is that they're doing all of this in the open. They're putting people in the administration like Van Jones, like Brian Deese. You know, Podesta is obviously very influential with the administration. SEIU, which is one of the major partners in the Apollo Alliance, is in to see the White House regularly on health care on an almost daily basis.
Who is?
It's all right in front of us.
Who is this?
Phil Angelides is the chairman of the Apollo Alliance. He's the leader of this great effort. He was formerly the treasurer of the state of California from 1999 to 2007. So he's part of the great team that brought us the current California situation. And he also ran against Arnold and lost. He made his money as a developer, developing green communities, new urbanism, walkable communities. You know, you can't drive narrow streets, that kind of thing. And now he's got a company that retrofits buildings. So he stands to make quite a fortune if something like cap and trade.
That's fantastic. And it's fantastic. He's also the head of the Financial Crisis Inquiry Commission. Congress has just put him, the former Treasury of California and head of Apollo, as the guy who's going to tell us how the hell our economy fell apart. Well, the guy in California would be the guy to do it. Unfortunately, he's also into the unions, green movement, and social justice. This is the head. This is the head. This is at least a main player of what's going on in America. And let me tell you something. I believe, America, this is probably the biggest, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the beginning, this is the portal into all of this. This is the biggest story in history. It is a hijacking of our republic. Yes or no?
Absolutely.
I think you're right, and the amazing thing to me is that they're so brazen. You've got Center for American Progress saying that the real people who are protesting town halls, they're fake, they're phony, but Center for American Progress with George Soros money, with Apollo Alliance, the rest of it, they're real.
That's why they don't see people on the streets as real people, because there are no real people doing this stuff. This is gigantic money. And let me tell you something, America. Nobody is doing this stuff on television. I don't know why. This is the biggest story in American history. It is a hijacking of our country. Maybe you should ask the other news sources all around why their networks aren't covering this. Why is nobody doing this? Why is nobody looking into this? Why is no one asking the question? Maybe it just turns out to be just phantoms. I don't know. But it sure doesn't seem right. Maybe somebody should start asking questions.